Hey everybody, welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers reviews with your boy Ranger J 1999 and that giant specimen of a man over there is the Big K. Cashmere's here. How you doing,
Hey,
Cash?
doing good.
And we're reviewing Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 14 before the big two-season finale parter next week. And yeah, and the name of this episode is Cash?
Tipping point.
Tipping Point indeed. And really, really good episode. I mean,
Yes.
Bad Batch since episode 10 has been on fire for me. I really enjoyed this episode as well. Things are happening and coming together,
hmm
and I'm not sure which direction this going. I'm gonna have a sense of some general stuff, but kind of like, okay, this is pretty dope. This is pretty cool. You see, the Empire's doing some things, and there's some stuff,
hmm
and things are getting set up. And I don't know, how'd you feel about this episode? I really like this episode. They really did a good job of setting things up for the season finale.
Yeah, this was another good one. Really kind of last week you can tell they were getting ready to set this up. This week they put the ball in the tee, and hopefully next week they just hit that home run. Um, Not a dull moment.
Yeah.
Everything this week was just you it wasn't waste of time at all.
No, it was not. So there's two parts to this, I would say, to this episode. It's all tied in together. Um, you have the beginning thing where it's the clone prisoners, dissidents is what they're being called, and then that they're being put on ship and then load them to a bigger ship, and they're being well, we know where they're being taken to, but they're being taken from one planet to this cloning place, this secret science lab that the Empire has. And then they're on their way, and just as the ship leaves planetary orbit, there comes this random ship out of nowhere. And then you see that it is a bunch of clones led by Echo. And man, this is really, really good. I really like the ship. I like the way that uh, the way they approached attacking the ship. If it took out its engines, took out its weapons, and then they did the boarding
Mhm.
thing, and they used tactics that we've seen clones. They're very well trained in tactics
Yep.
with misdirects and all kinds of stuff, and get on board and save the clones, and then they get some data, and then that leads us to Coruscant, where we see that it's the senator along with Echo trying to save the clones. And I don't remember her name.
I didn't write it. I don't
Yeah, I don't
remember,
remember her
but
name, but
she's
she's becoming an integral part of this. And then they learn that they've got data, but it's encrypted. And Echo says, "I know somebody that can
I
do
got a
that.
guy.
Yeah, I got a guy. I know somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I take it to I'll get it done." And then the second part, they get back on the planet, and then Kashmir. What goes on the planet?
So they're at that Pabu, and you can just see them loving life.
Mm-hmm.
Wrecker's there fishing. Tech is really just taking on like the training of Omega, teaching her how to fly, and Hunter's having a conversation with the mayor about you know about living there, or the mayor's like, why don't you guys stay? And he's like, well, soldiers, we can't, we don't just stay, it's not good for us. And he's like, well, why are you guys are more than soldiers, or you could be more than soldiers. So
That was a really good conversation.
yeah. Yeah, and finally Echo arrives. They're all, happy to see each other and kind of catch up for a second or two, and then it's right back. Echo's right back down to business of, Tech, I need you to do something about this. I need you to figure this out for me.
Yeah. And at the same time that that's going on, we've got Crosshair, who they're torturing. They want the information. He knows what they want, and he's figured out that they know that she's alive, but he's not giving it up. I think
Mm-hmm.
Crosshair's he's switched. He has switched
Yeah.
sides now. Had some moment. Now, I don't know how you felt, but it felt like that female geneticist, doctor, scientist intentionally was trying to help him in some sort of way. She
Yeah.
could tell she is not. She's down for the science, but she isn't down for
Mm-hmm.
all this torture and shit. It's not what she signed up for.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's got some kind of ulterior motive going on here because she sets it up in a way that Crosshair gets away, but then he gets recaptured. Is basically in it, and then the one doctor we see him speaking to Grand Moff Tarkin about the clone problem and stuff, and how the reason they're bringing the clones back there is to have them basically brainwashed, refitted to
reprogrammed or
reprogrammed,
whatever.
whatever you want to call it. Um, Whatever the experiments they're doing there or things that they're doing there that are really unethical, you could
Hmm.
putting it mildly, with what's going on there. But he gets away, but he's all drugged up. He couldn't quite make it out, but takes out a lot of the security, and then he's right back, captured again, and
Yeah, but
so
before
we
he gets captured, yeah, before he gets captured, he's able to get a message out, or reaches a radio and just Plan 88.
yeah, and they don't know if
That's
this is
about
a
it.
they don't know if this is a trap or not because we get back to the Bad Batch and they break down the encryption part and they break down who the scientist is, where what they are doing, and that Crosshair was captured as part of the dissidents,
Mhm.
and then so it seems like a trap because they've been trapped
Yeah,
before by this, but so this is going to lead into the next two episodes. I thought this did a really good job of this episode. Really shows and they speak about it because Tarkin speaks to the head guy there about it, that they're having more and more problems with dissidents and
hmm,
the clones, uh, not following orders, and breaking off from the Empire, which you saw with all those clones that were with Echo. There's a lot of them, and they're
yeah.
ready to
There's
start some trouble. And I figured that this might be where the route was going to go because we always wonder, like, what did happen to all the clone troopers? And you've seen a lot of them. They're still serving, but
yeah,
but there's a good group of them that are like, you know what, the Empire sucks ass, and now you're gonna get rid of us, and then you want us to do all this stuff. It's like we saw that in the last episode with how they've been treating the clones and stuff, especially with the
mhm.
new order to create the stormtrooper program. Um, yeah, clones are
Even
fighting
way
back.
back to I was gonna say even way back to when Cody. I mean, Cody was that
Yeah,
episode 2, 3, whatever, so long ago. Even then he knew, like, he just had that something's. This is not the leadership
yeah,
that I fought for. This is not the Galactic Republic.
yeah. Totally
This is
different
different.
thing. And and the Empire is very unethical. Very unethical in the things that they do and the way they handle things. And the clones are soldiers. They're not, some are obedient, but they were designed to think on their feet and think for
Yeah,
themselves. That's what made them such effective soldiers, is to be able to adapt to circumstances and be tactically aware. And they're soldiers. They don't mind fighting, and they'll fight for the cause if it's just. But if there's a lot of them, they're going, "What the hell is this nonsense?" And you guys are jacked the f up, man. We're not doing this stuff. Some will, because they're
yeah.
just loyal, like Crosshair, and because of the chips and everything. But
Hmm.
even with the chips, right? You can't overcome everything with the chip. And even though a lot of them are loyal, that it's just, you can't program human beings to that level. It just doesn't work. And so it's a really interesting dichotomy that they're placing with the clones, and they're which clones are breaking off and becoming these dissidents that are, they've got clones that
Hmm.
are sending spy information and inside
Yeah,
the Empire that are helping get information out, and others that are like, with Echo's group that are going and rescuing other clones and things of that nature. um, Really good stuff, man. I'm really liking Bad Batch. I mean, I was a little worried, um after episode 10. I was like, what the hell, man? If this is going to be the way this is going to go,
yeah.
I was starting to get a little checked out because I was on board. 6 got me a little hyped. 7 and 8 were fantastic episodes,
Hmm.
and I'm glad that those are in there because it's setting up all this stuff now. 9 was really good, and then we got to 10. I'm like, here we go again with this
Yeah.
nonsense. And then now 11, 12, 13, and 14 have been really, really, really good episodes. Um, I don't know. I give this one a high mark. I'm gonna give this a 3.75 uh, out of 5 Bad Batch. I mean, it wasn't a great episode, but it did what it needed to do to set the
Hmm.
pieces in place of what's going to happen in the next two episodes. They know about Crosshair, they know about this facility, they know what's because of Echo and what he's been doing, what's going on with the other clones, and so it's going to be interesting to see where the Bad Batch goes from here. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? So, I mean, what
Yeah.
do you think of the episode overall, Cash, and your overall thoughts on the season, where this is headed?
Yeah, this was for this episode, I was thinking a 3.5. I'm with you. It was a really good episode. Really good at setting up this next week. These last two episodes, I think. I mean, from all our reviews, we've been pretty much on the same page with every episode. Um, there's some really good ones. There's some really episodes that, like, what are you thinking? Like, come on, you didn't need this many episodes. You could have cut this season down by 4 episodes,
Yeah.
and you'd have like no pretty much no complaints from anybody. But yeah, no, this was they're setting this up. I thought they officially had made an announcement about a season 3, but there hasn't been one yet. I had to look
Oh,
at it,
okay.
look it up, and there hasn't been. I hope they do a season 3. Just kind of really take that next step.
Yeah, if they
But
especially if they don't wrap up the story, because we're going to want to know what happens overall with the Bad Batch.
yeah,
Um, so we want to for anything just to close up the story. It's a popular series. It's being watched. There's been
mhm,
some complaints, and they're
yeah,
valid criticisms, in my opinion, about some of the filler and stuff. And then some of the filler, like episode, was it the we go back and you look at it. The scene with Tech. I mean, with the racing, it was important because it was character building and it was building that relationship with
yeah,
Sid. So, even though it was filler, you know, it's that, it was an important moment for Tech. And like episode 5 where they went on that journey, that was getting their relationship and how they are operating with uh Fee, is that her name? For
yeah,
the Empire.
they, yeah,
Um
Wanda Sykes.
and that building that trust and that relationship, because now that leads to them being here. So if you look back on the episodes, yeah, some of it was filler, but you could have told those stories through, like you said, through less episodes. If we had 12, you could have told a really concise story. You could have added some of those elements there, but I think, now that we're getting to the nitty gritty, I'm really liking Bad Batch, and I'm excited,
Mhm.
man. I mean, gonna be an interesting last two season finale. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
we have the summit, which is going to be technically the first episode. Which at the end of the day, this is going to be one big episode. But the summit, which is the first episode, Tarkin makes a comment. The lead scientist is Hemlock, I believe his name is,
Yeah,
and he makes a comment that he's prepared to hear Hemlock's proposal at the summit
yeah.
regarding the clones, and instead of and sending them to him to kind of reprogram or whatever. So that'll be I'm sure the setup for everything, and then finally Plan 99, which we'll see what that is. I mean,
It
I'm
what it
sure
is.
I'm sure it's gonna show us them figuring out that Crosshair is, he's back to being Crosshair. He's no longer possessed by the chip anymore, or he's no longer a good soldier
But he's
following
not. Yeah, he's not
orders.
just following orders. I mean,
Yeah,
he's seen enough for the Empire, and what the Empire has done to him and how they've treated him. He's had enough. So
yeah,
I'm bet he's going to get back on board, which I'm happy to see. I'd love to see them get the group back together, and Crosshair would be
yeah.
a great addition. We may see some deaths. You never know. You never know with Star
Listen,
Wars what could happen,
yeah,
and it'd be
I will
interesting to see
not
what
be
happens.
surprised if not be surprised if Crosshair sacrifices himself to
Yeah,
save his
something like
brothers.
that. Or maybe one of the others do, or I don't
Yeah,
know. But we're going to find out for sure in these next
yeah,
two episodes, leading into hopefully a season 3. Because I am getting down with the Bad Batch. I think it's been
yeah.
these last episodes have really got me intrigued on seeing the Empire in its early stages, and the lore with dealing with what happens to the clones and
Mhm.
everything that they get involved with, and I think the Bad Batch has been a good transition. It's good to see these moments in time in the Star Wars universe, like what's happening in the galaxy far, far away. So I'm really enjoying it. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about Bad Batch episode 14. Um, good or bad. If you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know too. It's fine. Just be constructive.
Mhm.
Everyone's it's art. It's subjective. We all have an opinion on it. And if you really loved it, that's cool. If you really didn't like it, that's cool too. I'm totally down for anything. But let us know. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and with that, we will see you next week for the 2-part season finale. So everyone have a great rest of your day. May the force be with you. Peace out.